Hi everyone, it's Lana, and today we are going to be unboxing our Pathfinder Battles Darklands Rising. We have a really big brick of these that we'll be showing off and looking at. So let's go ahead and get started. So I haven't actually played Pathfinder, but I have always wanted to learn. I know the first edition is supposed to be relatively similar to the 3.5 edition of D&D, but pretty much all miniatures, in my opinion, are pretty interchangeable. It's all up to your imagination. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna make some room here. So here is our first box. Let's go ahead and see what we have in this one. Random assortment. Ew. Some of the ones just on the side of the box are already pretty gnarly looking. Okay. We have DR Fleshwarp Drow Abomination. Oh goodness. Yeah, I'd call that an abomination. It's pretty abominable. Anyways, let's take a closer look. So we've got some gnarly little I don't know what you call the back part of the spider, but that's a booty. That's thick with 2 C's. Ewy. Ewy is my final review. We also have a Knoll Hunter. He's got a lovely belt of skulls, so you know he's good. Some knee pads, because I imagine he's doing a lot of the like, what's his name? Hawkeye, where he like slides on his knees while shooting type thing. One of those moves. Next up, ooh, Emperor Cobra with a hair on his head. There we go. He's got spiky bits on his flappy bits, so that's a thing. Yeah, he's large and serpentine-y. Again, probably wouldn't want to fight a bunch of those, but makes for a good human-sized snake thing for all your human-sized snake thing needs. Alrighty. Next up, ooh, I love her. Wow. Okay, this is a animated dream. You ever wondered what your dreams would look like if they were animated? This is what they'd look like. La 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 la. Look at that booty. Look at those legs. She's very tall. Apparently she does not have fingers. She has tentacle things, and only 3 of them. Yeah. So be aware. Gloves, not gonna work out so great. She's got very 80s style blowout perm, which is important, you know, because she's got to balance out sort of this lean physique she's working, so the volume's really made up in the hair. So, you know, I appreciate that fashion sense. Although I don't want to know what kind of hair product she used in Nightmare Dreamland. I would think this would be more of an animated nightmare. She's got very, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna go really close. But she's got very Cheshire Cat smile too, so. Which is probably the most trustworthy face. Ooh, okay. So, we have animated dreams, and then we have Hellspawn monks. Standard stuff. Let's say our animated dream wanted to get into a fight with someone, it's probably with a Hellspawn monk. Both purple, so maybe they argue over like which foundation to use, because although one's a little darker and has warmer undertones, so they probably won't have to worry about that. She's got a lovely braid and some horns on her head. I always felt like if you have like, how uncomfortable is it to sleep? It must be such a bitch. Like, you roll over and that thing's gonna pierce your pillow and it's gonna come with you. That just seems really fucking annoying. Just my opinion. But yeah, that's our Hellspawn monk. We'll give her some spotlight. On to the next box. This one feels heavy. I feel like they were gonna be big in here. Whoa! Okay, no wonder this one felt heavy. Good Lord. Jesus. Okay, well, this thing
Whoa!
is an adamantine golem. Gonna have to zoom out for look how giant this thing is. Big. So, he's a little top heavy. This guy is kind of an example of when you skip leg day. Although I don't even know if he has legs. It just kind of is like a nub and then a foot. So, but his shoulder girth is exceptional. I don't actually know how physically he exists. Anyways, on the other side of the size spectrum, we have a tiny, small, Tengu Bard. It's a little bird person fan lady. I like her bird feet. Tengu, in case you were not familiar, is very similar to a crow Aarakocra from D&D. So this is essentially a Pathfinder version. Ew. Okay, well, next up. Oh god, I don't like her. Him? This is a Flesh Warp Grothloot. And it's gross. That looks like something I saw a dude shoot out of his nose on the sidewalk the other day. It's disgusting. I hated it. It also kind of looks like it's going like, I don't know. I might be gross. I might be disgusting. No, I'm pretty sure. It's not a question. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Nope. Don't want to touch it. Ooh, we're getting even tinier with this next one. We have a Vrykolaikos. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's tiny. It's a little tiny guy. I had to put my glasses on because I can't read, apparently. Vrykolaikos. Vry something. I don't know. He's small. He crawls around. He looks like a, he would be at Golem's family reunion. So, there he is. He's got a nice little loincloth. All right, next box. Ooh, this is fun. So, we have this guy. He is a Lucrota or Lucrota. He has the head of a badger and is said to be descended from hyenas and a demon lord, which looks like that checks out. He's pretty fun. He's got some fun stripes and war paint looking vibes almost. I would totally ride one of those into battle. That's all I'm saying. Next up, wow, whoa, tall is my first reaction. This is a wood giant, which checks out because look at this bad girl. Whoosh, really tall. Her bow is massive. It uses rope as its string. Not even string, straight up rope. Wood giants are apparently known as like the wardens of the deepest, darkest parts of all the woodland forests and nature out there, which quite frankly checks out because I would not want to come up against one of those. Wood giants are known for being one of the more docile and patient of the giant species. They definitely take on the nature vibes and are known to be more creative and artistic. They're hard to anger. So super chill hippie wood giants that just want to be your friend. Don't piss them off. Just don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Easy. Next up, let's take a look. We have Hollowborn Rogue. Nice little man bun. Let's check that out. So we've got a classic dual-wielding rogue here. Pretty standard. Man bun vibes going. Because, if you're going to be doing parkour all over the place, you can't have your hair getting in your face. Oh, that rhymed. So there you go. There's one thing you got to remember about rogues. If you're going to be doing parkour all over the place, you can't have your hair flying in your face. Number one rule. They teach that in like the primary school for rogues. So Hollowborn are actually half drow, half human. All right, we are on to box number 4. Ooh, I see a fun one in this already. It's an arboreal region. All right, well, it's a distant cousin of Treebeard and Groot. Tree person. Ta-da! But no beard on this guy, so keeps it clean shaven. Aw. Okay, so we next up have probably the cutest miniature I've ever seen on the exact opposite size scale. Attic Whisperer. Are you ready? Are you ready for this cuteness that we're about to see? I think I love her. As cute as this little gal is, backstory, super sad. So these little guys, known as Attic Whisperers, are actually the consolidation of various parts that a child may have owned that sadly perished due to neglect, abandonment, loneliness, and all these pieces kind of come together to form sort of the physical husk that the soul embodies then. And then they use a animal skull typically as sort of their head. So you can see this one looks like some sort of wolf skull, and she's holding a little stuffed rabbit, which is so sad, and it makes me so sad now, and I just want to give her a big hug. But she's got a nice little blue poncho on. So they are found in abandoned orphanages, hospitals, foster care homes, probably. Super bummer. Big bummer. Also, in case you weren't already super bummed out, these little dudes spend the entirety of this version of their existence wandering the worlds looking for an eternal playmate because they are so lonely and just want a friend. Just want a buddy. I'm gonna name her Sally. I'll be your friend Sally for eternity. All right, now that I've wiped away my tears, next up is I swear they're like, these names are just meant to make you look ridiculous when you're trying to read them. Urdefan Warrior. Urdefan Warrior. These guys typically are a worshiper of various demon kind, most likely one of the 4 horsemen. Activities include such as occult worshipping, warmongers, just really mean tweets, just bad stuff. Not fun to be around. Real buzzkill at a party. Next up we have Fleshwarp Gonatine. Gonatine. I don't know, but it looks like major creature from the swamp vibes. So these guys are sort of another creation of Drow. They flesh warp these creatures, trying to restore them to the ancient version of this creature. They prefer, not the Drow, prefer to crawl around on all fours and, do what it looks like it likes to do and just fuck shit up. This is definitely giving me fantasy version of Killer Croc vibes, and or like Godzilla swamp monster, but like really beefy. Doesn't look fun to fight. Oh, this next one looks like it will be a favorite of Robbie's. We have a giant stag beetle. Just a giant stag beetle. That is really large. And sometimes you don't even need to fantasy a creature because it's already fucking weird enough that you just make it really large and boom, fantasy monster creature. Like this guy. Although I do like the sort of color play they're going with here. Generally stag beetles are not these colors to my understanding. But yeah, and from my understanding too, stag beetles are one of those like crazy creatures that can lift and move like a bajillion times its own body weight. So if this thing is like the size of a cow, that's fucking terrifying. And it flies, in case it wasn't scary enough. So imagine this thing flying at you with those chomper pincers and just lifting your car and hurling it at you. Because that's probably what it would do if you pissed it off. Don't piss it off. Although you could make that argument with just about anything you run into in any fantasy game ever. Ooh, all right, this next one is... I thought it said Pervton. This next one is a periton. And it's like a strange relation to a griffin. We've got what appears to be bird legs, horse front legs, wings, wolf head, and like stag antlers. So a lot of combining of different elements here. This particular model also has a lovely treat in its mouth, fresh kill. Also, it has like a deer tail, which I find funny. Peritons, as you can see, are quite the amalgamation of different animal parts. They are known for stalking their prey, very much sort of bobcat-y, big cat vibes. Typically they go after lone travelers. They're also supposed to be incredibly intelligent as humans. And I guess the only chance of escaping one is if it happens to come across another male, because apparently they attack each other on sight. Peritons also happen to have one of the more romantic mating routines, where, as one does, they collect various human hearts throughout the year that they have not eaten and offer it to a female to woo them, if you will. The ritual in and of itself is very short and very violent. They also win Best Parent of the Year award because after the female lays her eggs, she promptly abandons them and is like, well, hope you make it because you're on your own, kid. This is all I got. Later. Go collect some fucking human hearts to have a short and violent mating ritual. Oh boy, we gotta... Whew! So this next box has one so big, we have to assemble it. Here's this guy. I'll go ahead and show him off before he gets even scarier. This guy is known as a Jabberwock. Jabberwocky? No, a Jabberwock. Let's give him some wings, shall we? So the Jabberwock hails from the Fey Realm and is a first world creature, which collectively are known as the Tane. He's got some major buck teeth going on, so that's fun. I like how they went with super scary, except for when it comes to his teeth, then I want him to look like a chipmunk. But also, I still don't want to fight him. His face is scary and tentacly. So these creatures were created with one purpose and one purpose only, to create destruction in the material plane. Who'd have saw that coming? As terrifying as this is, I will say it's a pretty elaborate miniature. Those wings look... yeah. No, he's pretty intense. The paint job's actually pretty amazing too, considering how big this guy is. He looks not only like he could fly, but jump like crazy, prancing, jumping goat. Like, the way he's standing on this thing makes me think of those goats that somehow magically balance on like the edges of cliffs. And so imagine that, but like way scarier and not a goat, but a Jabberwock. Next up, we have a Grodair. These guys... typical scary piranha-esque fish creature thing. Let's take a closer look. The Grodair is a bloated aquatic creature with a bulbous sac on its spine that contains thousands of gallons of water stored in an extra-dimensional plane. That's a lot. Yeah. I don't know why, but it's suspicious. And in case it wasn't terrifying enough, the Grodair actually can rise up to 6 feet on its tentacles beneath its body. Next up, Leprechaun. Leprechauns are typically more jovial and prefer mischief over conflict. They also, similar to me, fill their days with as much wine and food as possible. Leprechauns spend most of their time seeking out fun in various forested regions. They respect nature and those who protect it. Next up, we have a drow fighter holding a rapier. Pretty standard drow miniature. This one, however, features its main weapon as a rapier. Ew. Ew! Next up, we have... now, bear with me, because this is kind of a crazy name for this. Giant Toad. He's not what I'd call very cute. Giant toads live in drier regions, such as deserts, and will pretty much eat anything smaller than themselves. Giant toads also have a poison gland located behind both eyes, which enables them to coat their skin in poison. As a result, they have very few natural predators and can actually explode in population if left unchecked. Here we have a deep gnome warrior. And next up we have a Skaveling. Basically, terrifying bat-type creature. Skavelings, otherwise known as ghoul bats, come about generally from various necromantic rituals. They're not true ghouls, but they're freaking ugly enough to be one, so I call them an honorary member. Despite its appearance with the insanely saggy gross skin and holes in its wings, they're more than agile, and Urdefons actually tend to use them as mounts to fly around on. Here's our last one. Ooh. Next up, we have mammoths. Like most mammoths, they're found in colder Arctic regions and basically will trample anything if it gets in their way. Also utilizing those massive tusks. Less utilized for their meat, they are more of a domesticated or tamed creature. Hey guys, thanks for checking out our Darklands Rising unboxing. Check the link below for a store locator to find your local friendly game store. Thanks again to WizKids for not only making amazing minis, but for letting us show them off. I'm Lana, I'll see you Sunday.
Grab your rogue friend, a ranger, and some casters. Time to roll, have a good time, but don't burn down the tavern. Let's burn down the tavern. Time for total party chill. There's a critical hit, critical fail. Hold your head, see that dragon, we can slay it. And we'll level up all night till we get to that big bad evil guy.